shoes. Everything she says is true. If you don't know, now you know. All you ever gotta say is heard that, heard that, heard that, heard that, heard that. Look, all you ever gotta say.
What's up, Heard That Nation? Listening in the United States and around the world, you are now listening to the Heard That with Marisa Tigney podcast. If you happen to be watching on YouTube right now, hit that subscribe button so you stay in the know of all new episodes and any guests that I have on the show. I appreciate every single person. Again, I know I say that a lot on every episode, that many of you all have followed this journey, followed this podcast, subscribe to the show. I'm grateful for you. I'm thankful for you. And I hear the feedback and I hear the comments, because this is a show that's for fans by fans of sports, pop culture, entertainment. And obviously we tackle the serious issues on health, mental health and wellness, which May is mental health and wellness. And we will be having guests and repeats of guests that I've had on the show, because mental health is very important, especially in this day and age. People need to know that they can say that they can admit that it's okay to say when you're not okay, and the help out there being available. But I want to go back to a topic that was brought up that you all had asked me to get my opinion on it. I was like, I was on a hiatus for a little bit, a little staycation, and trying to sort things out with myself. And I had my therapist on speed dial, which I'm very grateful for. Shout out to Dr. Tyra Gardner, who I've had on the show, who I will have back on the show to talk about some important things about mental health. But this is very interesting how I have heard from many of you about this particular topic. And I got a story leading up to talking about this one that I want to mention about. I want to say that I've been on Twitter for about 10 years. I think about 10, 11 years now. And it was my friend, Mary, who had introduced me to Twitter. I was, Facebook was my jam, still is. You all have followed me on the Heard That page, and I posted many things on there, and as well as episodes and such. And she had talked to me about, Twitter and what was about. And I believe at the time, it was up and coming. Jack Dorsey happened to be the one that created Twitter. It was an outlet. It was a space where you could, chat with people. And I'm like, okay, well, I chat with people on Facebook. What's the big deal? But she was talking to me. The more she was talking to me about it, she's like, well, there's famous people on there, and they'll probably, chat with you if you're something that you see them on television or movies, or, you love sports, Marisa. So, you'll see some athletes on there. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't see a whole lot of them coming on, Facebook at the time. So sure, I'll sign up for it and see how it goes. And, that's where you were able to grow an audience and connect with people, like-minded people, things that, that you and the person had in common, right? So needless to say, over, a year, 2-year span, my audience, now mind you, I was not on this podcast journey at the time. I was just there to, to chat with people about different things, about, things we had in common, sports, shows that, I liked, they liked, that sort of thing. And the cool thing about it was, yes, there were celebrities that were on there, and I didn't know how the system worked at the time with famous people and who was truly there, because you got so many of these fan pages and those that have created a page, but they're pretending to be that particular celebrity. There was so much spam and so many bot pages. And so during that time, I don't think there was just so many of it at the time when I joined. But yeah, it has grown massively since then. And so at the time, I'm chatting, and the big thing that I loved, and I still do, is the Oprah Winfrey Network. Oprah Winfrey still is one of my sheroes. And so she had this show on one time, and she was interviewing the great Patti LaBelle, and that whole story of, how she started singing and, her inspirations and, the group LaBelle, and then decided to go solo, and then some personal questions and all that. So I am tweeting along with the show, and the Oprah Winfrey Network and people that were watching that night. And I could not tell you the last 3 to 5 minutes left of that show. I could not tell you, because she was my very first blue check verified celebrity that followed me that night. And I didn't understand at the time. I was like, okay, this must be a joke. This must be one of these bots. Let me, Google, because trust me, I love looking up stuff at Google. If I don't understand something, Google and still is my go-to as far as, trying to understand different things. And so I looked that up. It says a blue check verification means that they are the actual person, the actual celebrity, the actual well-known person in sports and government and so on and so on. And I woke my best friends up. I kind of frightened my poor husband because I'm sitting there just crying. I'm screaming. I'm just trying to get, heart palpitations, beating so fast. Like the media queen herself is following this girl from small town Lansing, Michigan, now living in Ohio, and woke them up. We're crying. I can't believe it. Oh my gosh, it's so amazing, and on and on and on. And so, it was cool to not only interact with her, and then sometimes she'll respond back, and other celebrities that I was able to talk to on this platform. And then Jack decides to sell Twitter. And so what does that mean? Who's going to take over Twitter? Who's going to, make it a better platform? I mean, to me, I'm like, it's not broke. Why are we trying to fix it? Except for getting rid of these obnoxious bots and people that, are trying to sell me, all kinds of crap. Hello, Forex and Bitcoin people. Stop hitting me up. Thank you. And so all of that is happening. And so the one person that people did not want to buy it had interest in it, and that was Elon Musk. And to me, in the back of my mind, I'm like, there's no way this man is going to do this. I mean, he's got Tesla, he's got SpaceX, he's got, at the time, relationship with this, I believe she was a musician artist named Grimes, and they got, a child with a name that none of us can pronounce. And I'm like, he's got his own, like, why is he so interested in Twitter? What is going on? And this is during a time where a lot of I just want to say tension was happening on social media. And, again, the show does not do any, kind of politics or anything, but, going into the elections at the time for the then president of the United States, Donald Trump, and all of the high angst and everything that I don't want to say chaos, but kind of was because of what was happening during that time with people going back and forth and attacking each other's beliefs and who they had trust in, and Democrats, Republicans, independents, Green Tea parties, so forth. And so you saw a lot of that, war of words through social media. And so Jack selling this Twitter platform, Elon's interested in it. I had a really good friend of mine that was at Twitter, and I'm like going, oh my gosh, I'm thinking of them, and I'm going, what is definitely going to happen? Long story short, Elon ends up paying $44 billion for Twitter. And so I'm going, okay, what is going to be at stake? What's going to happen to this platform? How's he going to transform it into hopefully something better? Now, mind you, at the time, I had some stock in Twitter because of what it was, doing. It was doing great. It was evolving into a platform of, so I thought, behind the scenes, right? And all of this stuff that was happening once Elon Musk took over the platform itself. It was interesting to me that during the span of a week, no more than 2 weeks, I'm getting a notification from Robinhood. Hey, we're giving you back your money that you have in it because Twitter is taking a nosedive. This investment into Twitter is no longer available. And then you're now seeing this, and now this is where all of this is happening, and the excitement of the blue check and all that happening. And I gotta say, before in the beginning stages of this journey that I'm on in podcasting and media, I did want the blue check because I thought it would bring more listeners. I thought it would evolve. I thought it was going to be this journey that I'm on. And some people, it's worked for them with the now rules that are part of it, which I'll go into in a second. So having all of that notoriety and people noticing, what I'm doing and trying to build up the listeners and those to watch the show and everything. And so now the sale takes place. $44 billion later, he gets this platform. All these changes happen. Seeing on the news that all these executives are out, people are quitting. Some people lost their jobs. Literally, this man is cleaning house of, in Twitter Incorporated. You can't, buy stock in it. Stock options are taking a plummet. And so all of this is happening. And then now the rule is everybody can get verified. What do you mean everybody can get verified? What's the catch? The catch is you can pay $8 a month to get verified. Now, here's the thing. I was verified for a half a second, meaning 30 days. Because behind the scenes in my team, I saw the check mark appear next to my name. I was excited. I was ecstatic. I'm like, oh my gosh, the hard work I'm putting in, the amount of people that are following me, legit people, not bots, because done a great job trying to eliminate as many bots as possible, or those that will go behind the scenes trying to ask me for money and all of that. It's happened with everybody on social media. It doesn't matter what platform you're on. So all that is happening. And then I noticed that said subscribe to Twitter Blue. Well, subscribe. No, I don't. What are we subscribing to? I don't want that to happen. I was thrilled about the fact I thought it was automatic because of the platform, because, I submitted, an opportunity for, heard that to go to a different level, because I always think big and I always dream big, and I want this to evolve into something that is great, that, pretty much the brainchild that I had to continue to evolve, right? So all this is happening. And then I'm like going, I'm not giving this man no $8 a month. I want to, connect with people on a real level. And this is me. I want to connect with people on a real level. So it is being charged $8 a month where everybody can get verified. So I'm going, okay, that kind of takes, that deflates the balloon, the small little pinhole into the balloon of your favorite people that have found. Now I've got several celebrities that follow me now, and it's a few of them that I've talked to, that were blue check and everything else. And so then he gives a deadline of when all these blue checks are going to go away if you are not subscribed to Twitter Blue. So 420, while, many of the world was celebrating the puff pass of weed and marijuana and all of that, Elon pretty much just turns the light on all blue checks. Saw Hillary Rodham Clinton get hers taken. Jamel Hill for a moment got hers taken, and Carrie Champion got hers taken. And so many sports celebrities. Rich Eisen did a show about it, about, if he was still verified, and he had his people behind the scenes say, oh, Rich, you're not. Oh, you are. Oh, you're not. So it was just like, he had the blue check, then didn't have the blue check. And then you had these celebrities that, they would put on their pages that they are the real deal. They are the real, celebrity, because their blue check was taken away. And so all of this was happening. And then I think the big hubbub about the whole thing is when the page of the late Kobe Bryant, that check mark was taken away. And people on Twitter had an uproar, because is his legacy. There's people that still go visit the page just to remember him and all the great things that he contributed to the NBA, and then off the court, and him being a family man and everything, and, trying to keep his memory alive. That check mark goes away. And so then you got celebrities reacting to the fact of, what, I know who I am. I'm the real deal, but, I don't need a check mark to verify who I am. Where you got people that are capitalizing on this check mark to show their valid, their verification that they are valid, they exist. Then you have these people that subscribe to Twitter Blue, because if you hit the check mark, it says this person has subscribed to Twitter Blue and have submitted the phone number. So that was a whole big issue on Twitter with, wait a minute, I didn't authorize nobody to take my phone number. These are, well-known celebrities. And I know that, like I said, LeBron James had made a comment about that. And then Elon's, offering his services, like going, I'll pay for your check mark and everything. And then you got people saying, well, these celebrities are massively rich. Why can't they pay for their own check mark $8 a month? That should be, an easy deal. But my thing of it is, it's twofold. And I'm so glad that people had messaged me about, what's your thoughts about this? When you're seeing your, Oprah and um, Jamel Hill and, many of the heroes and the sheroes that I follow and, some of them that have, the honor to follow me back. And I appreciate that. There's so many people out there that get that have built a massive platform because of their talents musically, entertainment, sports, um built a following through government. In government, they now have a gray check mark for those that are in news and government, and you have a gold check mark for those that have newsworthy in entertainment and sports. And someone can correct me on that. I heard that with Marisa.com. But now this blue check mark thing, Twitter Blue, because you can subscribe to it so that people can see that you get extra characters to write out things, and you get, any kind of issues that are happening on your page, you get that direct person immediately to help you out with your page, all part of this $8 a month that you can subscribe to. And I found myself looking at this and I'm going, the excitement that I had one time when I had that real celebrity follow me is gone. Because it was the coolest thing. You had somebody that has this blue check that was, the real deal of, the show that your favorite, or the musician, or the person that was there in entertainment, the movie that you watched, and they're following you. You're like, oh my gosh, or the sports hero is following me. Oh my goodness, this is so great. Now, I'll say this. If you subscribe to it because you are trying to build a platform and you're doing something, because there's a lot of people that have subscribed to Twitter Blue that I follow, that I connect with. They follow me. They're legit. They're real. We have done a few of them. I've done some creative things together. A couple of them are co-hosts with me on a show, Death, Taxes, and Sports podcast. I think one of them or two of them is blue check. That's their choice. They want to have that verification because of the fact that they do some massive network with other people and get them to watch, the podcast that I'm on, right? And that is their choice. That is what they do. But those that are just wanting to be seen, like I saw a few accounts that had like 136 people on there, and all they do is they go and they retweet content of other people's content all day long, and they'll barely put out any kind of blurb or anything else. And they have 136, 140 followers, and they are subscribed to Twitter Blue. They have the blue check. And so it's amazing now in 2023, we're at this time now where the true meaning of being verified and validated, it reminds me of the story by Dr. Seuss of those, and somebody can tell me about the book of it, but it's about the Sneetches. You know how on their stomachs they had the no star, 1 star, 2 star? And if you had the 2 star, you were at a certain level. You had the 1 star, you were like, you kind of like middle class. And if you're no star, nobody would look at you. You were nothing. And that's what I see Twitter starting to be. And I'm seeing, and I've taken a hit on followers because there's a lot of followers that have either deactivated their accounts, no longer are part of Twitter, or, they were just bots, and they made the choice because of what Elon has done with the platform itself. Now, again, he's paid $44 billion for this. It's now I think now worth, and I was looking it up, $20 billion. That is more than half of what this used to be worth when Jack Dorsey had created Twitter and had built a following and everything. And it is, I reflect on that because I do a lot, again, with this podcast. I go through and I connect to so many people. I connect through all of you all that have followed me on this journey. But at the end of the day, I know that I sit here and, after I do editing and I go and, be a wife and I go out and do nonprofit things and I go and go to my other job and be a great restaurant manager and, I go and be the best sister that I can, the best cousin that I can, be best auntie that I can, um, the best neighbor that I can. I know for myself that I value myself and I validate it. Not a check mark doesn't validate me at the end of the day. Um, I know that many people have followed that route and that's what they want to do, but they're building a brand and I respect that. I respect it wholeheartedly because it was a subject matter that I talked about with other people on their platforms or, a group discussion and everything else. That's the route that they have chosen. So be it. The frightening thing of it is you got people that are out there that are buying this and they're abusing the situation with this check mark. Um and I don't know, if Elon Musk has, done somewhat better to scale back the craziness of some of these people who have, now that they have this blue check, they feel like they can say whatever they want. They feel like they can do whatever they want. And that's what it was earlier. Once this whole rollout of Twitter Blue was happening, you had certain people that was able to say racist stuff to people and to pull up, some horrible, horrible things at people. And they thought that they could say whatever they want because Elon's not going to shut them down because, Elon has said some controversial stuff himself and done some controversial things that they felt like that they could take that and, attach it to his power and go on, this rant and say whatever they wanted to say. And that has scaled back a little bit. I don't know, what his continued plans is. Is Twitter, perfect now that he's taken over? Absolutely not. Not even close. That's why many people are dropping their accounts or quitting their accounts. And now, you got going back to Twitter Blue, if they're over 1 million subscribers, apparently he, gives them back their check mark, but it still shows up that they have subscribed to Twitter Blue. I don't know. It's a confusing thing where, yes, you can keep this validation and it's actually legit. Oops, my bad. I took your check mark away. Oh, here you go. Here's it back. And then those that are under 1 million, you still have to subscribe to Twitter Blue if you still want to, branch out your brand and your content and everything else. And so, I don't know what more this will happen or how much it will evolve. But here's the thing. Here's the bottom line, and I'll end with this. Don't let that validate who you are. You got to see for yourself what you can do, what you can create, what you can become. And know your value, know your worth. No check mark should know what your worth is. And I know that they're rolling this out now on Instagram where you're able to get a blue check mark for $14.99 a month. And those, are taking those that have taken advantage of that, are content creators and those that are up there in numbers and everything. I get that. I respect that. Again, not coming against anybody about that. But at the end of the day, know who you are, value who you are, know your worth. Don't let a blue check mark just tell you who you are. And especially if you're just getting it just to be seen and you're not doing anything with it. You're not doing any good. You're not creating your own, your own identity, on your page, your niche, what you want to do, where you're going with all of the talents, all the pages that are out there that have a niche, that there's doing something that's attracting an audience. For you to just spend $8 a month and just say, well, here it is, and then you're spending a day retweeting other people's content, is absolutely ridiculous. It doesn't. It's lame. Come up with your own stuff, but again, know who you are, value who you are, respect who you are. I can walk away from this platform and be like, this chapter I'm done with. And, I did everything that I could to contribute to it, and I'm satisfied with that. And I'll be happy with it. Blue check mark lists and all. Um, and I'll be thrilled with it because I know who Marisa is. I value who Marisa is, and I know Marisa is talented and can contribute her talents to many things that she loves to do. And that's it. That is it. And I'm happy with, the content that I create, and I'm happy with the people that believe in me and, are in my corner and continue to cheer for me and continue to root for me. And that's all that I can ask for at the end of the day. So where this blue check journey is going to go, as far as what Elon Musk is going to do at $8 a month, and people, are buying it and everything else, just know your value, know your worth. That's just important. Wake up and know that you can go out there and make a difference in the community and do something valuable. And then know that at the end of the day, if you felt that you have accomplished something, that's huge, that's massive. That's something worth celebrating. Celebrate you. And don't let no blue check verify and validate who you are. Just search within and know that you are valued, and you always have been. Thank you so much for listening to the show. I appreciate everybody. If you want to subscribe, hit that link, heardthatwithmarisa.com. And I would love to connect with you. Until then, as I always end the show, take care, stay safe. I'm out of here.
Yeah.